Turns have been submitted. It's time to run the rest of turn 1. Before we get into the move and build part of the turn phase, we're going to go back and read a couple of public announcements that were submitted with the additional players' turns. First one comes from England. London Times. His Majesty King George welcomes his new Prime Minister, Sir Reginald Spotty Bottom. Spotty, as he is known, has extended an olive branch to traditional enemies. Britain will see if this reform Tory will succeed. Britain and Sweden have concluded an alliance. Details are unclear at this time. Spain has also made a public announcement. We declare our mutual defense alliance with France, the Treaty of Righteous Might and Just. And Sweden has also issued a public announcement. The Kingdom of Sweden has moved into Norway in order to ensure the safety of the people and to reunite them with their Swedish brothers. The Kingdom also wishes goodwill to the crowned heads of Europe, Asia, and the world. Naval movement. Start with England. From the North Sea to Scotland, the 2 light fleets and 1 transport fleet. And from Scotland to the North Sea, 3 SP are moving. 3 SP are boarding the transport fleet in the North Sea from Scotland. From the port in the Eastern Atlantic, the 2 transport fleets are leaving port and then moving to the North Sea. In France, the 8 SP unit is getting broken up into 2 1 SP and 1 6 SP unit. 1 SP is moving from southern France into the Mediterranean Sea toward a transport fleet. Regarding Spain, their 1 medium transport fleet in the Philippine Sea moves from the Philippine Sea into the Indian Ocean. Additionally, in Cuba, the light battle fleet leaves port, taking with it the Marines. And finally, in the Mediterranean, the transport fleet enters port. Turning towards land movement, we start with Austria. The 17 SP block gets broken up into a 9 SP and 8 SP group. The 9 SP group is moving to Poland, and the 8 SP group is moving to Venetia. Moving to England, the 3 SP that boarded the transport fleet in the North Sea are disembarking into the Netherlands. Additionally, 8 SP from Hanover are marching into Westphalia. With regard to France, 6 SP from southern France are moving into Savoy, as well as the 1 SP that boarded the transport fleet, along with the Marines from the fleet to do an amphibious invasion. Additionally, looking over at Mysore, the 9 colonial SP there move into the Mahratta states. In Russia, 4 SP from central Russia are moving to Kyiv. And in southern Russia, 3 SP are moving into Don. In Spain, 10 SP moved from Spain into Portugal. In Sweden, 4 SP are moving from Sweden into Norway. Now that all movement is completed, we turn to the build phase. Starting with Austria and the Netherlands, they build 3 SP, bringing the total there to 4. In their capital, they build 1 SP. England builds 3 heavy battle fleets in their English port bordering the eastern Atlantic Sea zone. France builds 1 colonial SP in Mysore, 2 SP in northern France, bringing the total to 4, and a heavy battle fleet in southern France in the Mediterranean port. Spain builds 2 heavy battle fleets in Spain in their eastern Atlantic Sea zone port. And for the final build of turn 1, Sweden builds 1 SP in Sweden, bringing the total up to 7. The next phase of the game is retreat before combat. There are a number of combats with neutral territories, so we don't do any retreat before combat. So the next phase is the land combat phase. Portugal is a unique non-player battle in that an army is generated by rolling 2d6. Portugal generated 8 SPs to fight on a miniature tabletop, with the addition of 2 militia SP to assist them. Spain moved in with 10 SP, 2 guard units, a king, and a sub-general. During the course of the battle, Spain lost 2 SP, but they managed to capture the territory. Spain has 8 SP remaining in the territory. They also captured the extra gold that Portugal generated during the random event phase. The remaining battles that we have during turn 1 are NPC battles, and they will be determined by dice roll, and it's based on a ratio. Austria moved 8 SP into Venetia, so that is a 4-to-1 ratio, so that gives them a +3 to their die roll. So it's a 1d6 roll. That's a result of 9. Austria captures the territory of Venetia with the result of 9. That also gets them the territory value of SP to join their army. Poland has a ratio of 3-to-1, so it gives them a +2 to the die roll. 4, giving them a 6. Austria wins Poland. No change in their army size. Westphalia is a 4-to-1, so England gets a +3 to the die roll modifier. Getting a 5. That Westphalia becomes British, and they gain 1 SP, or more accurately, half the value of the territory, giving them 9 SP total. Territory of Savoy has a 4-to-1 because the Marines count as an additional SP, so it's 8-to-2 or 4-to-1. So they would get a +3 to the die roll modifier. But the unique caveat is because there's a naval invasion, the naval invasion also imparts a -1. So the total modifier is going to be a +2. The attacker wins, losing 2 SP. France captures the territory of Savoy, and the Marines move back onto the fleet. In the Mahratta states, 9-to-2 gives a 4-to-1, so it's a +3 to the die roll. 4 becomes a 7. Attacker wins, +1 SP, giving 10 SP, colonial SP there. Territory of Kyiv is 2-to-1, giving Russia a +1 to the die roll. 6 becomes a 7. Russia wins. They gain 1 SP, giving them a 5 in the territory. Territory of Don is 3-to-1, giving them a +2 to the die roll. 6 goes to an 8. Russia wins, gaining half the territory. This rounds up to 1. leaving Russia with 4 SP in the territory. In Norway, Sweden has a 4-1 advantage, giving them a +3 to the die roll. Eight. Sweden wins, gaining half the SP in value, leaving Sweden with 5 SP in Norway. Now we take a look at supply and control. Everything is in supply currently, and we also check territory control. By agreement, the territory of Netherlands is transferred from Austria to England. Therefore, England's taking control of the Netherlands. Currently, at the end of turn 1, Austria is sitting on 26 territorial points. England is sitting on 30. France has 28. Prussia has 12. Russia has 15. Spain has 24. Sweden has 7. And Turkey has 16. That concludes turn 1. As we move our turn track to turn 2, now is the time for random events. All right, here we go for our random events. Looking at our random events for turn 2, in the territory of Bengal, they have unrest. The GP there is halved, round down, and no SP may be raised in Bengal. Bavaria also has unrest. GP is halved, round down, no SP may be raised. French West Indies successful recruitment. SP in that territory is increased by 2. Louisiana has famine. They lose 1 GP for that territory, and no SP may be raised there. Santo Domingo has a sympathetic ruler. GP is doubled, and they raise 2 SP. And Dobruja has famine, -1 GP in that territory. No SP may be raised. We have a unrest token in Bengal, half the GP, and then 0 SP may be raised. So Bengal will be a -2 to the gold collected. Bavaria has the unrest token placed upon it. French West Indies have the successful recruitment token, and their as colonial SP have been increased by 2. Louisiana has the famine token, -1 gold piece for revenue collection, and no SP may be raised. Santo Domingo has the sympathetic ruler, so their GP collection for that territory is doubled, and they get 2 SP. Their colonial SP in the territory have been increased to 3 to reflect that. Dobruja has the famine token. They lose 1 gold piece, and they do not raise any SP there. Having run the random events, now we'll do the off-board front allocation for Turkey. Turkey loses 9 gold pieces for turn 2 due to the off-board front. Jacobite Rebellion. Do the Jacobites rebel in Scotland on turn 2? No, they do not. Our final random event for turn 2 and the summer turn is the tropical disease for the Caribbean and the Atlantic Ocean zones. For turn 2, Santo Domingo and the French West Indies are affected by tropical disease. Just have those positive random events. But for this purpose, basically no one except Spain can move in or out of those territories or build in those territories. All the random events done, that just leaves us with revenue collection. Just for this turn alone, Austria collects 26 gold, England collects 28, France collects 27, Prussia collects 12, Russia collects 15, Spain collects 24, Sweden collects 7, and Turkey collects 6. That concludes this turn summary video. We will now await the players to submit their turns for turn 2, read any diplomatic invoices that they have, and also discuss any battles, moves, and build plots that they might have. Again, we appreciate you watching this campaign series. Thanks again, and we will talk to you next time.